My name is Maya Peterson, and I work with iNACOL on behalf of Member Services. So thanks again so much for joining this next Teacher Talk webinar. It's one of the first of this school year. This webinar is just one of the ways that iNACOL works with the field to support research and information sharing and quality frameworks and policy development to help continue build knowledge in the field. This particular webinar is one geared particularly towards our practitioner community and closely aligns with our mission, which is to ensure that all learners have access to world-class education and quality blended and online learning opportunities. And certainly Minecraft and gamification are all part of that conversation. So just really quickly, a few housekeeping items. We'd love to hear from you, as most of you are using. You'll find the chat window docked to the lower left. Please use this chat room to type your questions, your responses, or any comments that you have there, and everyone will be able to see and respond to those. We'll be monitoring the chat room throughout and have some dedicated time at the end for questions and answers. I am so excited today to welcome Dr. Lee Graham from Alaska. She is here to help us explore the world of Minecraft by sharing some of her recent work, as well as promising instructional strategies. You'll see her CV or points of her CV here, and certainly a celebrated expert in the field. I want to thank Lee, you for joining us and giving of your time and expertise after yet another full day. So I will be turning it over to Lee, and I will be helping with some of the links that you'll see on the whiteboard as we go along. So without further ado, Lee, take it away.
Very good. It's very nice to be here with all of you today to talk to you about Minecraft, which is very interesting and taking schools by storm after it has already taken the elementary school population by storm. So I'm glad all of you are here. And I know that many of you probably have a lot of expertise in Minecraft and have played it, whether with your children or with your students. And so I encourage you to share your experiences in the chat area. And if you have any questions, definitely go ahead and post those. And as we go through, I'll address some of them, but we will have some time at the end for Q&A. So the title of this is Why Minecraft? And I really targeted this to a population that might have that question. When I started talking to my colleagues a little over a year ago about using Minecraft and designing an experience that was linked with literacy standards in Minecraft, the first question they asked was, why Minecraft? Why that? And so I thought that that was an intriguing question. It's not one I necessarily have the answer to, but that will be our theme today. So what is Minecraft? Minecraft is an anomaly to many people of my age who grew up with video games with fantastic visuals and all of this very cool, smooth animation. Minecraft is actually very blocky to most of us and looks very pixely and kind of primitive. But despite that, it's obviously a blockbuster among kids. It's a sandbox game. And a sandbox game just means that it's programmable. You can structure it in any way you want. So we know there are many different kinds of gamers, just like there are many different types of gamers. You can play Minecraft in many different ways. There's not just one way to play it. So because it's a sandbox game, it's very, very open. People ages 3, even younger than that, through adults, play Minecraft, and they all play it at many different levels. So there's not a lack of satisfaction with Minecraft, it seems, according to your age group. Any different age group can play it in any different way because it is such an open game. It's customizable to teachers like you and me. It's like a virtual playground to the students that we teach, and this is very attractive also. And you can choose in Minecraft if you'd rather not use player versus player, in which students compete with each other, then you can use a creative mode so that students can simply build, and there wouldn't be any conflict within groups. So that gives us yet another bit of flexibility with Minecraft. So what is Minecraft? It's these many things all wrapped up into a game that is very unlikely, but is quite a phenomenon right now. Now, let me know in the chat, do you know students who play Minecraft? Do your kids play? Do grandchildren play? I have been amazed as I've traveled around the world to find that students from Germany, children from Israel, many different people from many different cultures play Minecraft. So you see the universality of this phenomenon. Very good. So we have a lot of people who know people who play Minecraft. That's great. So the concept behind Minecraft, because it is this sandbox game, there are different ways that you can play it. There are 3 different modes in Minecraft proper, but we're dealing with Minecraft EDU, which is a different build. It's what they call a mod, a modification of Minecraft proper. So the concept that we're dealing with is that we could allow students to be in creative mode. Creative mode is the mode in which students build, explore, and there are not survival challenges in creative mode. You don't have to eat. You don't run out of energy. There are no monsters unless you decide there are. You are not threatened in any way. You can build in peace. Now, we found you can still, if you wish, cause a little bit of chaos in creative mode, but also you can just remain a player there. The chaos is irritating rather than threatening. Survival mode is a different sort of mode in Minecraft. So in survival mode, students can actually farm, they can plant seeds, they can grow gardens that then yield food that they can use to survive. They can tame different animals in order to do different sorts of things. When I was with my daughter last summer, I talked to her sister-in-law, who was about 6 years old, who taught me how to tame a wolf. Now, I had no idea you could tame a wolf, but she knew how. She had never read about how. No one had taught her how, but she had learned how through trial and error to tame a wolf in Minecraft. So these are things that children discover on their own. They can mine for different precious minerals, and this allows them to build different things that they couldn't build without these minerals. And they're experts at where to find these minerals when you consider that they have this huge world to start from with many millions of blocks, yet they know where to look to find gold or to find diamonds or to find coal. It's remarkable to me. And then in survival, there are monsters. The monsters are different kinds of monsters. There's nothing really graphic at all about these monsters. Now, they're not pretty. But there are creepers, there are skeletons that will shoot you with arrows, but again, nothing very graphic. It's just that you have to fight these monsters, and often in survival mode, you have to fight these in a group in order to overcome the monster. So collaboration is greatly built into this. We have a few questions. Is it similar to Xbox? There is an Xbox version for Minecraft. There are many, many different versions of Minecraft, and I'll share that with you in a few minutes. Again, you can play this generally on any sort of interface, and it's free for many of these, so that is part of the appeal. Verena said earlier, this is like virtual Legos. That's exactly what it's like. And someone said earlier they were in to learn about how to do Minecraft with math. Well, math is a perfect fit for Minecraft because these are blocks that are built one upon the other, and these blocks have different strengths, different characteristics according to the sorts of blocks that you use. So in order to build, students place block upon block. They can also break blocks in order to mine. And most players start out breaking blocks with their hands, but then eventually you get blocks or you get trees, which are also made of blocks, to create an axe or to create different tools so that you can break even stronger blocks, mine even better things, and build even cooler things, which there's a great deal of user support online for this. So often the students will either Google it, find a YouTube video that will tell them how to do what they want to do, or they will look at the Minecraft wiki, which will give them hints on how to do the things that they'd like to do. The very big user support community of users in Minecraft. Minecraft operates three-dimensionally on an XYZ axis. So you can get coordinates in Minecraft so that you can find where you were at any different time. The world is very big, so it can be easy to get lost. And so some students will create beams or markers that will show them where their build is. But we can also teach them how to see that XYZ axis. Some of them already know how to find those coordinates so that they can always find what they've built in the past. And then, as I said, they craft blocks together. So you start out with blocks. From blocks, you build a crafting table. From that crafting table and other materials, you can build many different things. A furnace to cook food on. You can build different sorts of tools that you can build with. So you can build their electronic elements. There's an element called redstone, and so you can build things that automatically, doors that will open and that will close. And yes, Frank, I will be showing you some screenshots of this as we move on. And there are some links that Maya will be providing to you that will allow you to see more extensive shots of some of the work that was done. So Minecraft EDU, again, this is different from Minecraft proper. It's a modification. And the reason this modification is perfect for education is that we have teacher controls for classroom management. And throughout this webinar, I'll be talking to you about my own experience that I facilitated with my students at the University of Alaska Southeast in a course called Gamification and Open Education. This was an experience in which we had about 1,000 students from grades 6 through 12 who read The Giver and then who participated in Minecraft to complete a unit that we created. And I foolishly thought that because the engagement level would be so high, that students would be consistently on task. But what I didn't know at that point was that there are different types of gamers. And one type is the explorer, who enjoys exploring. One type is the achiever, who likes earning different awards or earning points. One is the socializer, who likes working and collaborating. And then there's the last kind, called the killer. And that is the name for them in the bottle game topology. We can call them other things. We can call them aggressors. We can call them whatever we'd like. But the real crux of this is that these are students who are not happy in gameplay unless they're being highly competitive with each other. And so with these students, even though we created a very open experience with different entryways to learning for every other type of gamer, we had not done anything for the competitive student. So we had many students who were taking part in something known as griefing. Griefing is when it's just what it sounds like. You're giving grief to other people. So they'd attack students even though they were in creative mode and couldn't be harmed, or they, shoot arrows or different things, put the houses on fire. So it became very obvious that classroom management was going to be necessary and that we were going to have to do a great deal of monitoring. As I said, we had 1,000 students, and it was a class of mine in which I had about 15 teachers who were actually monitoring this experience. And we used these teacher controls for classroom management, which are part of Minecraft EDU. And they were very important to take care of that very small population of students who was so competitive. Now, from that, we did learn in the next experience we needed to build in something for those competitive students so that they were challenged within the game. But in the first iteration, we weren't aware of that. So there are different teacher controls for classroom management. You can teleport a student to yourself, or you can teleport to a student. This is very good just to check on what students are building within the game. You can just click on a student's name and be where they are. You can teleport every student to yourself if you wish. And so that, again, is a very nice tool if you feel like things are not going the way you'd like for them to go within your game. And because we're all risk-taking and we're all creating this with very little research to guide us, apart from that is available with more traditional technologies and tools, it's important to know how to do these interventions. So we can teleport all the users to ourselves. We can freeze students if we want to. If we're not sure what they're doing, we can freeze them and we can go see what they're doing. And we can stop students from chatting if we'd like to, so that if a student is being disruptive, we can then mute them from the chat and then have a conversation with that student within the classroom. There are also special blocks that are part of Minecraft EDU. Those blocks are home blocks, which you can give to your students, and they will take them to a point that you specify as their home base. There are navigation blocks that allow them to beam throughout the world to different places. There are unbreakable blocks, which were really, really nice when we did our experience this spring with Maze Runner. We wanted the mazes to be navigated, not broken through. So the students built them with unbreakable blocks. There are uncrossable blocks, and those are very nice if you want to make different areas for students so that they're relegated to one area to build, and then maybe eventually you'll take those blocks out and have them mingle together, but it allows their different structures to be safe from harm and allows them to build apart from each other. And then there are information blocks, and the information blocks are just what they sound like. You click them and they'll give some text about either what students are to do or about the area. Very good for giving assignments, even though there is also an assignment tool in Minecraft EDU. And it's also very good just for giving information about any certain aspect of the world that the students are working within. So the question is, well, we had a question on the chat, which was, can anybody download Minecraft EDU? And the answer is, anybody can download it and use it, but you do need to purchase a server license in order to use it. And so you only need one license per server, and it's very inexpensive, as Kim said. It's quite reasonable. And then you'll need to purchase a license for each of your students. Now, you only need to purchase a license for the number of concurrent users you have. So to say that a different way, if you had 20 students in each class period, but a total of 100 students, you only have to purchase 20 licenses because you will only have 20 students working concurrently at any given time. But it's good to purchase what you need because it is inexpensive and it's just such a wonderful tool. We want the money to be put back into further development to improve it for the classroom. So why Minecraft? Honestly, nobody can tell you. There are articles, I bet you there's a thesis someone is writing about this. We really don't understand why kids like it so much, but they do, and it's undeniable. So now we just have to go with it and step into their world. They love it. It captures their imagination like nothing else right now in the modern culture. So it's important to me to harness that and to allow them to learn using that. I think it's very important. When we find something a child enjoys this much, that so many children enjoy this much, it's hard to argue against trying to use it in the classroom. So I encourage you just to step into their world and begin to use it. But I also caution you not to expect to become as good of a player as they are. And I will say to you, you don't have to be. I don't think you have to be at all. I think it's important for the children to do the building, for the students to do the building, and for us to do the monitoring and the designing. So we each have jobs in this. Ours is to design a quality educational experience that provides evidence that standards have been met, and theirs is to do their very best to demonstrate their knowledge, and if they have a little fun along the way, then I think that's just fine. So this is the way the usage trend has gone, and you can see the way that these students have just flocked to, downloaded, become masters at. If you just do a quick Google search of Minecraft tutorials, you'll find thousands, and I'm probably being conservative in saying thousands, tens of thousands of tutorials, YouTube videos, wiki page spaces. You'll find that students as young as 11 create videos and upload these to help their friends learn how to do things they've learned to do on Minecraft. And the reason I ask you not to challenge yourself to become as good at it as they are is because I'm convinced there is something about this game that mimics the modern child's brain. They're able to learn this, to do this, and it makes perfect sense to them. Whereas it took me a couple of months to learn how to walk, jump, and run, much less fly, much less build. And so I can do all those things in a very limited way, but I never feel as if I shouldn't use Minecraft because I can't do it as well as the kids. I know that that's just not going to be possible, at least for me. And for the teachers that I've worked with, it isn't possible for them either. But it's okay, because they're the experts at the gameplay. We're the experts at the learning. So how do we harness this power for education? I have focused on harnessing it for literacy. Now, I was a middle school English teacher in my prior life, and I taught using Writing Workshop. And when I taught using Writing Workshop, I always had, it was Reading and Writing Workshop, and I had reluctant readers who really I had to do all sorts of things to try to get them interested in reading. And what I found with Minecraft is that students who are not naturally enthusiastic readers are very enthusiastic at reading the nonfiction manuals that teach them how to use Minecraft. They're also very enthusiastic at reading the wiki pages and comprehending those pages, which are written in a technical way and often in not the most skilled way, in order to do different things on Minecraft. And they want to play and they want to win at whatever the criteria is that we've defined as winning. So Louise Rosenblatt is a theorist who researched the theory of transactional literacy. And what this says is that every individual who reads will make an individual meaning of what they've read, and that meaning is going to be specific to their background, specific to their prior knowledge and their worldview. And so what that means is we can't tell students what sense to make of a book. Certainly there are themes that we want students to identify. Certainly there are broad, universal aspects of plot and that sort of thing that we expect students to see. But when it comes to the actual effective aspect of what something means to us, that's very individual. And for me, Minecraft is a way to allow students to show me what it is they have taken from a book. What sense does that book make to you? How do these people live? And how can you simulate that in Minecraft? How can we live this story as you understand it? And when we did Givercraft, which was, again, the first unit that we did using Minecraft, we read the book, The Giver, and at the end of the experience, we had a webinar with Lois Lowry, the author of the book. And we told her about what we had been doing. The children shared with her what they had built and why they had built it. And she said, well, you're doing what I do as a writer. You're living this story. And I think that's very much what Minecraft allows us to do. It allows us to let children read the book, but then live the story in a way that matches the way their brains work and the way they see the world today, which I think is just a wonderful gift we can give our students. And it's because it's so difficult for those reluctant readers and writers to demonstrate their sense through writing for us, they can do this in Minecraft. When we did this experience, we had a classroom of 6th grade students who were gifted, and we had a classroom of 9th grade students who were autistic. Both of these groups of students participated in this unit of instruction within Minecraft, and both of these groups of students achieved. They just achieved at their own levels because of the broad, open nature of the interface. So reluctant readers, that two-dimensional print may not mean a great deal to them, but a three-dimensional Minecraft world might. And so they might be willing to delve more closely into the literature so that they can replicate that world and meet the standards that you've set forth as criteria for, quote-unquote, winning their game. And so that's the aspect of differentiation. It's so easy in Minecraft, it almost doesn't seem fair. Minecraft is self-correcting. Students get immediate feedback, and they don't necessarily get feedback from the game. Much of this is about how we design the experience. So that if we ask a student to design a setting, as our students design the community from the Giver, then the feedback they're going to get is actually from each other. And it might be those students who don't often speak up about what happened in a story, who might surprise you as they turn to their classmates and say, wait, that isn't what that's supposed to look like. Wait, there were no stars in this story. Wait, that's a very colorful building. There was no color. Everything was gray, remember? And so that sort of immediate feedback comes about as a result of the enthusiasm the students have for Minecraft, the way that they really get into the building, and the level of closeness at which they've read the text. And what we found is that students will read in order to be able to play. There's automatic leveling in Minecraft. Minecraft doesn't stop you from building because you can't build as well as someone else. And it doesn't stop you from mining because you aren't finding as much as someone else. it allows you to really achieve at your own level. Then it becomes the responsibility of the teacher to say to what extent this is demonstrating the standards that we'd like to see. And of course, it's student-driven. As I said, we had 1,000 students. We ended up with 800 after we had some groups who dropped away because of connectivity and such. But of the students who completed at the end, when I sent a survey to the teachers asking to what extent were your students engaged in this experience, and the choices were highly engaged, engaged, somewhat engaged, and not engaged. 100% of those students, according to the teachers, were highly engaged. Not just engaged, highly engaged. So I think that's that rivals any other tool we have. The question is, how widely accepted is Minecraft EDU by school leadership as an effective teaching and learning tool? The answer is, it depends. Right now, my daughter is teaching at a school, which is a STEM school in Columbus, Ohio, in Cincinnati, Ohio, and they embrace Minecraft because they're a STEM school, and innovation and risk-taking is a part of their charter, I suppose. But in other schools that are very traditional, it could really be an uphill battle to prove, without actually having the Minecraft, that this is a worthwhile tool. I'll share that one of my students in Sitka, Alaska, implemented Minecraft immediately as soon as we started looking at it in the class. And she had skeptics. And so what she did was invite the parents in every Wednesday to come in and see what the kids were doing with Minecraft. And this actually turned out very, very well because the parents were able to see that the students weren't simply playing games. They were meeting standards. They were achieving, and the proof was right there in the watching. Bandwidth can be an issue, but according to our engineer, Colin Osterhout, he says that playing Minecraft really takes no more bandwidth than watching a YouTube video. So if you could have every student and your child watching a YouTube video and that doesn't cause a bandwidth issue, then it's possible that you could also have every child in the classroom playing Minecraft and it equally would not cause a bandwidth issue. I think sometimes people overestimate the amount of bandwidth that Minecraft takes. It does take some, and our students in Barrow, Alaska were unfortunately not able to do this. But again, also the administration wouldn't allow them to try because they felt like the trade-off might not have been worth it. That is a battle that I think we have to fight. And bandwidth can be an issue. So can Java. Java is very, very particular with Minecraft EDU. So it is important to have a really good network person to help you and support you with this. And yes, Francis, that's the only way to do it. If we don't try it, how will we ever know? To me, it just, again, it's hard not to want to try it when you see how much the kids enjoy it. Now, this is an example of two different builds. So you see that with Minecraft, students can build at whatever level they'd like to. If they want, they can build a simple house. Now, this simple house that we're looking at is actually quite more elaborate than anything I've ever built. And then you can see this cathedral, which is built, which is very, very complex, very detailed. So what happens with Minecraft is if we team students together to build, often they'll build something much like this cathedral, because there will be a student or two who knows how to do this and can teach the others. And in the building, the learning takes place. But the learning isn't just about placing blocks, and that's important to emphasize. The learning is about the content. Placing blocks is just the thing that students do the way that we used to perhaps draw house plans or make paper mache artifacts. They're doing this the way we used to do those other things. Multiple intelligences. This is just something that I thought about as I was creating this slide. The spatial and logistic intelligence of Minecraft helps scaffold the linguistic intelligence. And you're saying, could you give a for example from the start of exactly what, Bernadette? I can. I'll wait to see what exactly a for example of. I'll be sharing with you the unit and sort of the structure of the units that we used a little later. But there are students who oh, that's, yes, okay, I'd be happy to. Yes, I will, Bernadette. There are students we know who do things very well. They create things very well. They make things very well. Often these are students who may not enjoy reading. But because they're able to build Minecraft, and because their goal is to build a world that replicates the world of whatever text you're talking about, then this will support their linguistic intelligence. And then Minecraft, for me, is an example of a new literacy. So the literacies that many of us, I'll just talk about myself. I was educated, 30 years ago in my K through 12 experience or more. And so in that era, literacy was quite two-dimensional. Books, magazines, writing. But now we know that there are new literacies that extend traditional literacies and have to do with communicating ideas, and we don't have to only communicate those ideas in a two-dimensional way. In fact, for the students that we're teaching now, it might be very important as they move into the workforce to be able to communicate their ideas, not necessarily in a two-dimensional way, but in whatever way they can communicate best. So by allowing them to communicate their ideas in a three-dimensional manner through Minecraft, then we extend traditional literacy and we allow our students to gain expertise in new literacy. Also with Minecraft, there's a lot of talk right now about grit, the characteristics of grit, which can lead to success. We're teaching students grit, and I know that's not the way we think about video games often. But when you think about Minecraft and you think about some of the things, and if you witness some of the things these students do, there's a great deal of persistence, troubleshooting, trying again, failing, building on failure that happens, and happens very, very quickly. And I think that allowing students to learn through Minecraft allows them to build that persistence, encourages them to troubleshoot. And we can even transfer that from Minecraft to their writing to say, in the same way that this was a draft of a virtual world, this is a draft of your paper. In the same way we worked collaboratively in this virtual world to make it what we'd like it to be, we're going to work collaboratively to get this paper to the point that it can communicate what we wish for it to, in the way we'd like for it to, with the quality we'd like for it to. So I think that those sorts of characteristics are very important, and Minecraft builds them. And then problem solving and programming. There's a great deal of literature out there right now about the number of programmers that are needed in the workforce, the the shortage that we have of programmers. And so this is another way that we can sort of bring new literacy in. Students can program things within Minecraft. As an example, when we did Maze Runner, the students built a maze that the door would open when the sun came up. So when the sun came up, the door opened to the maze, and when the sun went down, the door closed. They did this with very simple programming with redstone, and we didn't teach them how to do this. They discovered they could do it, and they did it. So allowing students to know that they can manipulate virtual environments in that way, I think, can only build an affinity for programming. And programmers must document everything that they do. So it's very, very important that programmers can write what they do, explain to others what they've done, so that this is not lost as the programmer moves on. So another way to tie this into writing. And then one thing to remember about new literacies about Minecraft and anything we try out that's new and innovative in the classroom, things are going to change regularly as technology opens new possibilities for communication and information. Some of you have probably seen oh my goodness, I just went blank. They're not the Google glasses, they're the new Google glasses. Someone help me. They're the virtual reality glasses. You know what I'm talking about. Somebody does. But there are virtual, thank you, yes, thank you. There are new virtual reality glasses, and they're using this with Minecraft. And so it's the Microsoft HoloLens. That's what it is. Thank you, Rob. I just totally went blank there. But with the HoloLens, they're using these in 3D Minecraft environments. So right now we're talking about students sitting at a computer participating in Minecraft. In a few years, we could be talking about students visiting a Roman cathedral that they have, or rather a Roman Colosseum that they have built to scale using Minecraft, using the HoloLens. So whatever we're doing now, the technology is going to improve, improve, improve. So I think it's very important for us to start looking at these three-dimensional new literacies living in the world that our students currently live in and will be working in. So how in the world can we keep up? We'll need to get a link to the HoloLens for you. It's a way, Bernadette, that you can put on the glasses and have a holograph. If you think about Star Trek's holodeck, it's a way to put on glasses and have a holodeck. And so Star Trek predicted all of our technology, right? So how in the world do we keep up? How can we keep up? We have to play. That's what we have to do. And this is where these students currently have us at a disadvantage, because they're willing to play, and I think many times we aren't. So, you know, we play Candy Crush, we play with Facebook, we play with our smartphones. I just bought my parents smartphones this weekend. Oh my goodness. And they don't know how to play with them, so I've been trying to teach them. So when we don't play, it makes it difficult to learn. You play with your new TV or your cable box. And so Minecraft, we play with Minecraft. And if you have family members, children who play Minecraft, why not sit and play with them? Have them show you what it is they do. Have them show you why they enjoy this so much. Have them show you how to tame an ocelot. They may know how. Have them show you the things that they've built. You'll have to promise them that you won't break them. And that's sometimes a hard promise to keep, because it's sometimes hard to control yourself in there. And they're not the most patient teachers, but playing is how we learn. And there's a book called A New Culture of Learning that I would recommend highly. But part of that book is about how we really have to play to stay up to date with modern technology. We can't wait. There will never be enough professional development in the world. We really have to play, and we have to take these risks. So Minecraft is very much like a blank slate, and we can use whatever standards we'd like to. With the Common Core standards, the ones that we targeted were identifying key ideas and details in Minecraft. So as they built, they had to demonstrate that. We identified that they had to research to build and present knowledge, because we knew there are things that they would want to do and they wouldn't know how to do. And we would have to guide them to the resources to find out how to do that, because we didn't know how to do it. Again, we didn't hold ourselves to that standards or expect ourselves to know how to do it. We knew we were going to be guides. And integration of knowledge and ideas. These were the standards that we started out with. With Minecraft, dystopic novels and stories really lend themselves to this environment, because there's a common, there are common acts, I suppose. There's Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and they seem to be common to all of these novels and stories. So whether you're dealing with the Hunger Games, the Giver, Maze Runner, Lord of the Flies, they all follow a common trajectory in the story. And we have done Minecraft experiences with all four of these. We actually did Maze Runner and Lord of the Flies together last spring. So here are the themes. We built our unit around these themes. In the beginning, the people, the population, are protected, they're safe, but they're captive, whether they're physically captive or whether they're captive because of the ideas of the community. They are captive and they do not have independence. They don't have to worry about survival. And so this is a common theme throughout these dystopic novels. So in this particular situation, we can then in Minecraft use creative mode, which means students don't have to worry about eating, they don't have to worry about expending energy or finding materials. They have everything they need, which again mirrors the text. And we have high teacher control. There are rules. There are certain places you can build. There are certain ways you must interact, because this again mirrors the text and we're mimicking the text. Have I lost you? Okay, very good. I don't know what happened. It said, okay, very good. Here we go. So there's creative mode, but high teacher control, lots of rules. In Givercraft, we, the moderators of this experience, were elders. And we were elders and we were very intrusive. We would go, we would check on students, we would see what they were doing. If they weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing, we would use the moderator tools, etc. But then in the center part of each of these novels, there's a struggle for independence. This happens in the middle of the book, in which the protagonist realizes that yes, they're safe, but there's been a trade-off. In The Giver, the trade-off is, no color, no feelings, no weather. Everything is exactly the same. There's no love. All of these things have been factored out of the world. So in the Maze Runner, they realize that this world is not going to last for them, that they're really in danger. And so there's a struggle for independence that always happens in the center of these books. And what we do then is we turn the world onto survival mode and we fade our control back. So in the second week of experience, when students are in survival mode, after they've been in creative mode for a little while, they're going to ask us for food. They're going to ask us to take them to a shelter. They're going to experience weather. They're going to experience the loss of energy, all of these things. So in the beginning, we scaffold them, we will give them food, we will give them seeds, we will teach them to farm, those sorts of things, but we fade back. Then, in the very last stage of these novels, essentially the protagonist gains what it was that he or she wanted, which is survival, freedom, rescue in the case of Lord of the Flies. But along with that comes some, obviously, all of the necessities of survival, which is you must have your own code of law. You must decide how you're going to interact with each other. And the teacher fades back even further. And potentially, if you wish, you could have monsters at that point. Certainly in Maze Runner there were monsters. In Lord of the Flies there were monsters. And so depending on your philosophy, you could actually have those threats, those monsters. It can get dark. People can die in the game, but then they respawn. So this is the way that we have structured our experiences within Minecraft. And we found that by following these common themes in a 3 to 4 week experience, this has worked really well for students, to the point that our moderators were able to prepare the teachers, and the teachers took over moderator responsibilities in our last experience, so that we were able to really just watch what the students were doing and enjoy that. So what is the pedagogy? The pedagogy is, there is role play in a virtual environment in which students are playing the parts of participants within this text, whatever the text may be. They don't necessarily have the specific identities of the characters, but they are members of the community in which these characters live. So that's sort of the pedagogy that we've embraced. We use screenshots by students to demonstrate their understanding, and then to tie this into writing. And to display their writing, we used wiki spaces so that students would place their writing up in a public place where each of them could look at their own writing. We could share it with parents if we wanted to. The outside world could not see this, but others could. And then we had a really well-formed rubric, which aligned with Common Core standards and which would assess the writing. So we never assessed what students were doing in Minecraft. Students built in Minecraft, then they took screenshots of what they built, and then posted those screenshots in wiki spaces, and then narrated the screenshots. Wiki spaces, I think, is fine for younger kids as long as they have the typing skills. We had some people who preferred using Google Docs rather than wiki spaces, but you can password protect wiki spaces. Yeah, and there are many different options. There's KidBlog, there's Edmodo, there's PVWorks. The reason we used a wiki initially is that we anticipated there would be collaborative writing. That did not really materialize in the way that we wanted it to. So it did end up being individual writing. So there, again, any number of tools could do that. The example rubric is located there, and that link has been posted for you. You can see, and you're welcome to use any of this, you can see that we outlined the different levels of achievement that students were required to achieve. And the teachers did this assessment, and most of our teachers believed that the students achieved as well in this experience, or better, than they would have had they taught this novel in a traditional way. So again, good testimony from the teachers. These are some examples of buildings and some wiki entries, and I'll just really quickly, you see this is a wiki entry by a child who built a very simple building. This is the house of the protagonist in The Giver, and Jonah's house with the different books, and she explains why she has these books, and by doing this she is trying to reach the criteria in this rubric that she uses examples. We had them use signs so that within the world they could write what this was that they had built, why they had built it. They can use, there are books within Minecraft that they can write in, so books with quotes from the text that showed us why they believed that this particular building or this particular area looked the way that it did. At the end of The Giver, when Jonas leaves, the memories are released, and suddenly the people in the community are having experiences and knowing things that they've never known before. So within this experience, we have the students write memories in books for other students to find. Oh, spoiler, I'm sorry. and so they write the books, and then other students find those books and they build the things they find in the books. So this is a building of a jail, and you see we have weather, it's raining, and you see we're in survival because you can see the food at the bottom, the hearts, that's the life force. And so this happened at the end of the Giver, and this is the way that the students, that we modified this to play it in Minecraft. That we had students who did weddings. It was just really, really fun. They did a rock and roll band. Of course, color now had come into the world, and they were able to show that. I think it was just a really nice way for them to live this book. And then this is just another example of a student's writing. And again, we had grades 6 through 12 in this experience. The writing really varied according to the expectations of the teachers. And so I'll share with you, not all teachers had the same expectations we did. We learned to adjust to that really well. Some teachers did more in-class work and really used the Minecraft experience as a way to reinforce the reading and then have discussions. We also found that it was very important to have the discussions because we had set up this experience, but the way that we set it up, it would be easy to miss some of the connections if the students didn't have the discussions with each other, drawing them back to the essential questions and the overarching understandings of the unit. So those discussions were very, very important within the classroom. And then this is just for you to watch when you want to. This is a reel of the highlights from the Givercraft that we made for the kids. And so you'll be able to see a lot of the things that they built, and you'll be able to see some of the conversations they had that will scroll across the bottom. I didn't leave a great deal of time for questions, but there's been some really good discussion going on. Are there questions at this point?
I just activated the audio, so if anyone has any questions that they want to shout out, just grab the mic by hitting talk at the top left and ask your questions, or you can continue to type in the chat room. Thanks so much.
Hi, Lee. This is Tom Kilgore. Do you still have teachers that are involved in the project? Are they still active, and is it still running at this time?
Hi, Tom. No, it's not right now. It's the way that we designed it, it's a 4-week project, and we did it in the fall, and then we did it in the spring. What we do have are teachers who, as a result of this project, replicated it in the summer and then replicated it again, or replicating it again this fall. So really, our project has been more of a springboard for people to get Minecraft into their own schools, rather than, even though I think the global aspect was cool, we haven't had a lot of people, well, we did have a good many come back, but most of them just wanted their own Minecraft server and to do it in their own schools. It did, and we'll get into a lot of that at our presentation at iNACOL in November. We're going to be presenting this, and we'll get into sort of how this came about, and we'll try to get into some of the nuts and bolts of moving around in Minecraft.
Great, and I just wanted to do a couple shout-outs. Thank you so much, Lee. This was such a great big picture view, as well as zooming in on some specific examples and great examples of how students are demonstrating learning, as well as following and kind of becoming the teacher themselves. So thanks so much. I think we have time if people want to hang on for a couple more questions, but before that I just wanted to call attention to the fact that registration is open for our symposium that will be held November 8th through the 11th in Orlando. You can catch highlights on the link there, as well as then be sure to register for, nominations for Innovator Awards are open, so read about that on our website, as well as then upcoming webinars. Among them are Google Apps for educators, and prior to that, Realizing the Promise, helping make blended and online learning accessible to all, and then we're co-hosting a back-to-school webinar with NROC. So please make sure to register for all of those. You'll be able to get the registration, and again, if you there's people with still questions, please use the chat room, or we can let you go. All right, hearing none, Lee, do you have any quick closing comments, or and also we can also continue the conversation at the handle, the Twitter handle, and or through your email.
Very good. Yes, feel free to contact me. I always enjoy connecting, and if you have projects you'd like to do, I always enjoy volunteering my students and myself to help. So definitely, and I look forward to meeting many of you at iNACOL, and thank you so much for coming. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Lee. I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Maya.